What's up, audio nerds? Welcome to the Audio Hotline, the channel where I review audio gear for beginners, professionals, and everyone in between. Today we have what looks like a dynamic microphone in the studio, but not so fast there, Buster. It is actually a condenser microphone. This is the Technica AT2010. So I'm really excited to review the AT2010. And here in a little bit, I'm going to put it up against its brother or its sister, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't mind. I'm going to put it up against the AT2020. This isn't like a comparison video. This is a review for this, but just a quick example for you guys that are watching the video. Just a little, a little cherry on top for you. I am using the Zoom H5 to record the AT2010, and currently I have it set at about 55%. You can find the Technica AT2010 on Amazon for $99. When you purchase the Technica AT2010, you will get an Technica mic clip, a stand adapter, a nicely padded leather bag, and of course the microphone. This microphone is built really well. It feels like a handheld dynamic microphone. It feels really sturdy. I literally travel with this thing in my backpack constantly and have never had an issue. Have never been worried about it getting hurt. Straight up, I've dropped it a couple times, okay? I've done it. Guilty. But it's held up great. It's fantastic. I do wish that this microphone came with a windscreen, but that's an easy and cheap fix. You can find some really inexpensive ones on Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it down below. I will be using this windscreen occasionally. It's just one of the cheap ones. It doesn't have a whole lot of padding or anything, but it does help a little bit. Now, let's nerd out and talk about some specs. The Technica AT2010 is a handheld condenser microphone with a cardioid polar pattern. It has a frequency response of 40 Hz to 20 kHz, with an impedance of 100 ohms and a max SPL of 136 decibels. This microphone does not feature any switches, and it does require 48 volts of phantom power. As far as the frequency response goes, it has a slight drop-off starting around 200 to 40 Hz, but it's not a very substantial drop. There are some noticeable boosts around 4 kHz to 14 kHz. They're not crazy boosted. I'd say the max one is about 5 to 6 decibels. There are definitely a lot of microphones out there that have a substantially more boosted high end. It was surprising to me that on the spec sheet there wasn't a noise level or noise floor reading, whatever you like to call it. And as I'm sure you could hear, there is a little bit of a noise floor there. There's a little bit of a hum, but it isn't too bad at all. Now that we've gone through the overview and the specs, let's go ahead and test this microphone out. I don't know why I do some of the things I do. If you want to pull your AT2010 closer in the backseat of your Rover, those are the only words I know. But here's how it's going to sound. I think the song mentions something about college. I could be wrong, but here's how this would sound with the windscreen on. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled peanuts. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled penises. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled peanuts. Peter Piper picked a patch of pickled penises. Penises. I said penises. If you plan on knocking on your Apple keyboard while you're talking into the AT2010, maybe you're a podcaster, maybe you're a gamer, maybe you do stuff when you type. I don't know what your plan is. I don't know your life, but here's how it sounds. If you talk into the 2010 like this, it sounds like this. And if you talk into the 2010 like this, it sounds like this. And if you talk into the 2010 like this, it sounds like this. Let's say you have a YouTube channel and you're like, you know what? I hate the look of microphones, but I need them. I want the sound. That's bizarre, man, but here's how it'd sound about 2 feet away from you, so it's not in the camera's shot. And since this is a handheld condenser microphone, here's how it'd sound if you were passing it back and forth between your hands. Maybe you're talking on stage. Maybe you're singing on stage. Maybe you are just a weird person that likes passing a microphone between your hands. It's possible. I've seen some weird stuff. But here's how it'd sound if you decide to pass this back and forth. It's actually pretty good. If you're going to be using this for podcasting, voiceover, or anything where you want some post-processing on it, here's how this would sound. I try not to do too much EQ just because I want you to be able to hear how the microphone sounds, so usually I'll just dip a couple little things, but this is pretty true to form, but just with some compression on it, and probably some de-essing if there is any sibilance. I know that ASMR uses condenser microphones quite a bit, but I mean, I don't know if this would be good or not. Let's get weird. I don't know what they do, but I know it's a thing. What does ASMR stand for? I mean, I guess I could look this up probably pretty easily, but I'm just going to let someone answer it for me. I don't need my girlfriend seeing that I'm looking up acronyms. Acronyms usually lead to porn, I think. And school stuff. It's either porn or school. And she knows I'm not in school anymore. Well, here they are, up against each other, using the Zoom H5 to record them. Gain is set at 55 on the 2010, and gain is set at 50% on the AT2020. Well, here's just a quick example of talking on the 2010, and here's a quick example of just talking into the AT2020. These are equal distance away from each other with the capsules in the same place, and here is how they sound. You know, both of these actually sound relatively similar. Like, it makes sense that they're brothers and sisters, or sisters, whatever you want. You can tell that the 2010 kind of has a little bit more condensed, and this has more of an open sound, but they both sound pretty damn similar, and they both sound pretty good in my opinion. Alright, let's get this out of here now. Go away. Alright, now that we've gone through the overview, the specs, and the testing, let's go ahead and get to my review of the AT2010. Let's go ahead and do some pros and cons. We'll start negative, and then we'll test positive. The plosives aren't too bad. They are definitely present, but it can be avoided with just a little thin windscreen and, you know, talking not directly into the capsule and popping peas like a crazy person. I mean, for $99, I shouldn't complain too much about this, but I just do wish that it came with a windscreen. I think that that'd be a nice accessory for it to come with. There is definitely a little bit of sibilance issue when it comes to this microphone just due to that high-end boost. Some people's voices, that high-end boost would sound really good, but my voice is relatively high, and you can kind of hear some of that sibilance due to that. But we'll talk about the rest of the sound here in a minute. You know, honestly, that's all I really have to say that's negative. The first pro that I have for it is actually the sound of it. I know that I said that it does have some sibilance, but everything kind of works with it. It represents the voice well, and it has like this cool tone that's like a mixture of like a dynamic and condenser microphone, and I really like that. And that's one thing I'll say about the sound of this, and the fact that it requires phantom power, is that the signal is a little bit hotter than dynamic microphones. So if you don't want to take a cloud lifter or anything while you're traveling and you just want to take one microphone and like your Zoom H5 like I do, this is an awesome microphone to have because you can get a good representation of the voice and you have a decent amount of volume to play with in different situations. The accessories that come with this are very high quality. The microphone build is high quality. It all feels really good. This kind of has to do with another pro that I mentioned, but I do love the form factor of this. I love the fact that it is a condenser microphone in a handheld body. I do think it does pretty well on background noise rejection. Right now I'm banging on a keyboard and I don't think it's like awful. I mean, I'm hitting this keyboard harder than anyone ever should. Like, this is normal typing and this is how it would sound. It's nice. It's a good mic. And for $99, the letter grade that I give the Audio-Technica AT2010 is a letter grade of an... Personally, I was actually more of a fan of the AT2010 than I was of the AT2020. I just don't think it's as harsh as the AT2020. It does a lot better on plosives, but it still has a good range of frequency. Not to say that I thought it was leaps and bounds. Like, I thought that they were very similar. So personally, I think that for $99, this is a very good microphone, and I kind of feel like it lives in the shadow of the AT2020, and I don't think it should. I think that this microphone should be utilized more for like podcasters, because it gives you the nice background noise rejection if you're going to be moving stuff around, or if you're a gamer and you're going to be typing on your keyboard, or you're going to be playing on your controller thingy. This would do such a better job than like the AT2020 or the Blue Yeti. Thanks for watching this review of the Audio-Technica AT2010. I hope it helped you out. I hope that you learned something, but most of all, I hope you had fun. Stay tuned for a lot more reviews, a lot more comparisons, and also I'm going to come out with a couple little tip videos. Not that kind of tip, a different kind of tip, like a helpful one. Thanks to my subscribers for being amazing, and thanks for watching the Audio Hotline. I'll see you nerds next time.